picked up from the dollar store were these 3 bags of maple leaves. You have a 14 count sparkly with stem, as well as 2 50 count bag of maple leaves assorted. Next, also from the dollar store, I picked up a pair of candle pillars, as well as the plates that just set on top of them. For these pillars, I am going to leave them clear, although on Pinterest I've seen some people spray paint them. So starting off, you're going to want to grab your maple leaves with the stems, and since there is no wire in the stems, it is really simple to just cut off the stem and go ahead and you can keep the stem or you can throw it away. Go ahead and set those maple leaves to the side. So the first thing you're going to want to do is add some glue around the edges and then place your plate on the top. Then I just flipped it over and I kind of noticed that it was crooked. You do just want to add some hot glue gun around the edge of the bottom just to get it a little bit more secure. Also, if there's a different way that you can set the plate on the ground and then just add the pillar to the bottom of the plate, that might straighten it up a little bit more. I know mine was a little crooked. Next you can start to add the leaves. I noticed that after putting this first leaf down that there was still a stem attached to it. So I kind of just used some scissors, trimmed it up a little bit just so that it would actually stick to the plate more instead of having it all stick up and it wouldn't let me glue anything down. So it definitely helped trimming that up a little bit. Next I just placed a bunch of leaves just in any random order. I was kind of upset that I ran out of the sparkly leaves. The first pillar that I did, it looked a little better. I'm not going to say that this one looks horrible, but it's not as good as the first one that I made to test it out before I did the video. You can use really whatever you'd like. I did see a Pinterest pin that someone had added like some twigs and some jute twine to theirs just to make it look a little bit more fall-y. They also glued a candle to the top with some jute twine wrapped around it, but I decided to use this pumpkin, and I just simply glued around the bottom and then added my pumpkin on top. So going into our next DIY, you're going to need some needles and some green thread is just what I had laying around. You're going to want to thread your needle, which is actually a lot harder than it sounds. Grab your leaves. If you just fold a leaf like that in half and slide the needle through, it'll actually thread it and you can barely see the thread. Go ahead and, I just alternated between 2 colors just because I had the most of those and I'm kind of OCD and I like everything to be symmetrical or somewhat perfect. I just went ahead and did probably about 7 or 8 of these leaves. Just kept threading them on. I was trying to get them perfectly like spread apart, but it wasn't until I grabbed this board that I noticed that they're a little bit too long, so I just kind of laid it on top and then re-thread them. You can leave them just like nicely draped along like this, but I thought that looked kind of weird and I wanted to add something else to the board. So I went ahead and kind of tightened it across the top. I flipped the board over and actually just used some white masking tape that I had laying around and just taped the thread to the back just because I know that it's not like 100% like stationary there. I could change it around or anything like that. But I did decide that I wanted to write something on the bottom. I would recommend either having good handwriting or printing off some like fonts or anything like that, but I just used some plain white paper and kind of did it the same size of my board. And then I just did a generic give thanks. I don't know why I used a green Sharpie, but it didn't really show up very well from far away. I definitely think that I might just go over this board with some white paint and then redo the letters with some font that I find on the internet. But other than that, it looks like this cool little sign.